Hey puppy trades, I wanted to do a video analysis update of the stock market. We'll talk about big tech like Apple, as well as the NASDAQ, Microsoft, Advanced Micro Devices, and Nvidia. We'll talk about Intel, the S&P 500, and XLI. We'll talk about Berkshire Hathaway, JetBlue, KBH Homebuilders, and Tesla. We'll talk about First Solar, NextEra Energy, and NEO. We'll talk about Xpeng, Squarecash, Pinterest, and PayPal, as well as ROKU and Palantir. We'll talk about Bitcoin, Marathon Patent Group, SOS Limited, Ripple, and Litecoin. So we have Apple forming a wave 1 and a wave 2, then going on a huge wave 3 that is cleanly subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. Now we have an ABC correction that ended wave 4 at the 50% retracement of wave 3. So this is that textbook wave 4 that retests the wave 1 high. So wave 5 will either be the length of wave 1, place at the wave 4 low, or the length of wave 3, place at the wave 4 low. When we look at Microsoft in a second, as well as Advanced Micro Devices, and we talked about Amazon in my last video too, we really get the idea that Apple's not going to go in wave 5 at 158. Okay, I believe Apple's wave 5 will be the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low. That's going to take it all the way to about 173. We'll call it 170, and that really lines up with the larger degree count where from the September 2020 quad witching date, Apple forms a wave 1 and a wave 2. So the 161.8% extension of wave 1 gives a textbook wave 3 target of 171. Okay, so this large degree wave 3 is really cleanly subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So wave 5 on the smaller degree being the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low would also line up with Apple going to 170, which is around that 161.8% extension, and that would be the large degree wave 3 target. From there, I'd expect a shallow wave 4 correction before a wave 5 higher. It's looking really good for Apple. It's looking like that Santa Claus rally, that seasonal, really bullish November and December is going to play out. November and April are the two most bullish months of the stock market. The older traders who have been around a while, they'll say you buy in October and you get yourself sober. I would do at least one of those things, and we see, Tesla, we see a lot of stocks breaking out right now to, new all-time highs. I think that's going to play out right now. We have a wave 1 and an ABC correction putting in a wave 2 on the NASDAQ QQQ, then a huge wave 3 subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. We have an ABC correction putting in a wave 4 at exactly the 50% retracement of wave 3. So the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low gives a minimum wave 5 target of 395, and I really think that's going to end up being pretty damn conservative. I'll explain why with Microsoft in a second, but it's the exact same idea. It looks like we're forming a wave 1 of wave 5 and wave 2 of wave 5 from this low. We're about to explode into waves 3, 4, and 5 of wave 5. If we measure the 161.8% extension of this kind of small wave 1 right here, we're going to go way past 395. So it would look something like this, where we have a wave 1, a little wave 2, right? Everyone's going to call the top, and then we're going to explode into waves 3, 4, and 5 of wave 5. So I'll explain with Microsoft in a second, but wave 1 in Elliott wave theory is the measuring stick. It gives you the minimum wave 3 target, and it gives you the minimum wave 5 target. So if this is wave 1 of wave 5 in progress right now, then this wave 3 of wave 5 target is going to be way past 395. So the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low gives a really conservative wave 5 target of 395. So we'll talk about that right now with Microsoft, where this is really clear what's going on. So Microsoft forms a wave 1 and a wave 2, then goes on a huge wave 3 and puts in an ABC correction to end wave 4 at the 38.2% retracement. So the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low gives a minimum wave 5 target of 319. Here's the thing. It looks like this wave 5 right now that's in progress is subdivided into waves 1 of wave 5, and we'll see a wave 2 of wave 5 that offers a really nice buying opportunity before waves 3, 4, and 5 of wave 5. The point is, if this is wave 1 of wave 5, then the 161.8% extension of wave 1 is going to take Microsoft way higher than 319. That means that wave 5 won't be the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low. It will be the length of wave 3, most likely placed at the wave 4 low. And that says that Microsoft wave 5 could take it all the way close to 350. We'll call it 345, so it really kind of sends that message with Apple, with the NASDAQ, that 395 for QQQ is going to end up being pretty damn conservative. Remember, in Elliott wave theory, you don't trade waves 2 or wave 4. A lot of the gurus want you to forget that, so you sign up for their discords, but you don't trade wave 2. You don't trade wave 4. You prepare for it by having cash ready to buy the dip or hedging for it if you really think it's going to be that bad. But right now, I think Microsoft is really sending us a nice message that this wave 5 in progress is not going to be the length of wave 1 1 placed at the wave 4 low. It will be the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low. And Microsoft is going to go all the way to 345. It's looking really good. Very low probability, in my opinion, that Microsoft ever breaks below this wave 4 low before it sees, close to 350. So Microsoft looks good. We'll talk about AMD right now. AMD also kind of sends that message that if it's going to the upper 130s, right, then the Nasdaq's probably going to go higher than 395. We have a wave 1 and a wave 2, a big old wave 3, and an ABC correction that ends wave 4 between the 50% and the 61.8% retracement. So the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low. We'll take advanced micro devices all the way up to 138. So I've had 136 being my target for AMD by the end of Q1 since June, and that's really playing out right now. So if we zoom out to the larger degree, AMD formed a wave 1 and a wave 2, had a huge wave 3, and put in a wave 4 at the 38.2% retracement. So the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low has given us that target of 136. That's always been the destination, and now we kind of have the path on the smaller degree, how we're going to get there. So AMD is just a ton of evidence for the bulls right now. It's about to break a new all-time high. This is a wave 1 and a wave 2, and believe it or not, it's actually conservative for me to call this a wave 3 and a wave 4, because this wave 4 gets really close to the 61.8% retracement, and when you see a wave 4 get close to the 61.8% retracement, you say, wait a minute, that's probably not a wave 4. It's probably another wave 1 and another wave 2, but anyway, we'll stick with the conservative view right now. I always give the most conservative view first, so some people get confused why I'll raise my price target. I'll raise my price target once we have evidence that we're within a wave 3. Until I have that evidence, I'm going to call it a wave 5 to be safe. But this is a wave 1 and a wave 2, a big old wave 3, and an ABC correction conservatively is putting in a wave 4. The length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low says AMD is going to go to 138. That really conservatively will hit my time target by the end of Q1. So here's Nvidia. Nvidia is looking wild. It broke to a new all-time high today, and this is where, I really like to talk about Nvidia because it's one of the few tech charts that sends the message that the rally could be a lot more sustained than a lot of people think. Nvidia may have gotten rid of a lot of dirty laundry during this correction. I'll explain that right now. Nvidia had a wave 1 and a wave 2. Then we predict basically every move of this wave 3. So this wave 3 is subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. And then we pull back to the 23.6% retracement and the 38.2% retracement. So right now, if Nvidia is above 195, there's a good chance, a lot of evidence, that it put in a large degree wave 4. So all that means is that the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low, that means that this whole rally from the March 2020 low to the February high will get replicated, and that most likely by the end of the summer of 2022, very conservatively by the end of the year, Nvidia's wave 5 will be the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low. The reason that it's an 11-month time target is because this is an 11-month rally. It could be a lot quicker than that, but the whole point is that Nvidia sends the message we could have a more longer term tech rally. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low will take Nvidia all the way to 303, and it's looking like it's off to a good start right now. So some people will be like, what about, a more conservative view? I don't really like talking about Nvidia going to 303, right? Because I have a fundamental bearish bias that the stock market can't go any higher. Even if we say that Nvidia is still within this red wave 5, in my opinion, this would be wave 1 of wave 5, and wave 2 of wave 5. So then waves 3, 4, and 5 of wave 5 are still going to take Nvidia a lot higher, and that would be in a lot quicker time frame if that was the case. But right now, I really like this view that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves impulse that completed a large degree wave 3. So I'll move this wave 3 to this high, then this wave 4 low, if it continues to hold, could be extremely important. And the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low says that likely by the end of the summer of 2022, Nvidia is going to go all the way to 303. It'll definitely do that by the end of the year. So Nvidia is looking great. Some say you keep adding to the winners. I've really kind of proven I've gotten Nvidia's numbers. So, we talk about the stepchildren of the semiconductor sector, and this is the definition of being a stepchild right here. Intel literally has, for the second year in a row, caused advanced micro devices to go up after reporting earnings. So a lot of you guys weren't paying attention to Intel back in late 2020. The only reason that I was because it was all over the bar chart straddle and strangle screener. And so Intel kind of had the exact same thing happen last year. This big old fall down, right? This big old sell-off was literally the exact same narrative that Intel reported earnings, said AMD's eating our lunch, and it was was the exact same thing where AMD went up after hours and Intel went down. But that was all, a bunch of BS, and it ended up being a huge buying opportunity that I actually participated in with kind of further dated options. So one thing that I would say is get used to the idea of not just trying to see if a stock changes its trend in price, but see if a stock changes its trend in volatility, okay? And I think if there's one good thing about Intel gapping down and having this, big 11% move, is that we've finally seen that Intel has broken out of this really tight consolidation. Intel hasn't moved at all for the past 6 months, and now it's moved 11% in one day. So we talk about contraction leads to expansion. I believe that the expansion is going to be to the upside, and this is kind of that textbook Wyckoff selling climax. No one in their right mind would touch Intel right here, right? Well, it's a pretty nice trade to trade it against this wave one low. We're getting close to the 78.6% retracement, but the length of wave one, place of the wave two low, still says that Intel could have a lot more upside to 73. This rally is from, October, right? Literally the end of October of last year. It's the exact same thing. The end of October of last year all the way to the beginning of April, we could definitely see a 5, 6, 7 month rally take Intel to the 73 range. This is my second attempt on Intel, but I have to get 2 tries, okay? You have to understand Tesla and Netflix and Advanced Micro Devices they all took 2 attempts, okay? I got trolled about all of those, in March before they exploded. I think Intel's the same thing. I think the airlines are similar where, guys, I have to be able to get 2 attempts at least. This is a wave 1 and a wave 2, a wave 3 and a wave 4, and a big old wave 5. A clear impulsive structure. Now an ABC correction ending wave 2 between the 78.6 and the 61.8% retracement. The length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low, is going to take Intel to 73. It didn't happen on the first attempt, but I think I might have spoiled some of you guys. It doesn't always happen on the first attempt. You don't always just, see green right away. So Intel's looking good. Let's look at the S&P 500 right now. The S&P 500 broke to a new all-time high. So if you've been watching this channel, that shouldn't surprise you. And if you've been watching the stock market, that shouldn't surprise you, because the banks broke to a new all-time high over 2 weeks ago, right? So if the Chinese real estate market was going to collapse the stock market, right, and that was kind of the rhetoric, then why did Bank of America and why did XLF, why did American Express, why did they all make new all-time highs, right? So the market was going to crash, but the banks were going to break out. That never made any sense, okay? This is a wave 1 and a wave 2, a huge wave 3 and a wave 4, that, in my opinion, is going to lead to a wave 5 higher. The length of wave 1, place of the wave 4 low, will take the S&P 500 to a pretty round number of 500. So let's talk about the large degree picture of the S&P 500. We have a wave 1 that is cleanly subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. Now an ABC correction to put in a wave 2 low. So we're almost at the 1-year anniversary of me drawing these silly equal lines and saying the length of this rally placed at this low was going to take the S&P 500 to 460. We're about $8 away, and this, in my opinion, is a large degree wave 3 that is in progress. This is wave 1 of wave 3 and wave 2 of wave 3. This is wave 3 of wave 3 and wave 4 of wave 3. The length of wave 1, placed at the wave 4 low, will take SPY to about 500, and I think that's going to happen by the end of Q1, kind of that April. Honestly, I think it's going to happen before Q1. I think we could see one of those generational buying opportunities in March of 2022. That's probably looking ahead way too far. But anyway, we have a wave 1 and a wave 2, a wave 3 and a wave 4. The length of wave 1, placed at the wave 4 low, is going to take SPY to about 500. And then we'd be looking for a correction. So we kind of have that scenario right now where we have an end of year melt up. And then that, quad witching date in March leads to a wave 4 that's not going to be really huge, but it's gonna feel really huge. So wave 1, wave 2, the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low gives a minimum wave 3 target of 460. I think that's gonna be conservative because wave 3 a lot of times is actually bigger than wave 1. This is wave 1 of wave 3 and wave 2 of wave 3. This is wave 3 of wave 3 and wave 4 of wave 3. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low will take SPY to about 500, and then we have a very clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves impulse. We're gonna wanna be pretty cautious. So that's looking good for the S&P 500. I think that, basically for every stock that we talked about, if the wave 4 low holds, wave 5 is going to be the length of wave 1, at least placed at the wave 4 low. That's going to take SPY to 500. It's looking really good. I think that's going to happen by the end of Q1, to be honest. Let's look at XLI right now. XLI is looking really pretty. I said one day tech's going to be up. The next day, the industrials are going to be up. So don't neglect this sector. Wave 1 and Wave 2. Wave 3, ABC correction ends Wave 4 right at the 38.2% retracement. We're really close to making a new all-time high. The length of Wave 1, placed at the Wave 4 low. We'll take XLI, the industrials, all the way to 113. I think this could be a really useful indicator for kind of the next correction, because that would be a very clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves impulse. The length of Wave 1 placed at the Wave 4 low would take XLI to at least 113, and then at least as far as this sector goes, we'd be looking to correct that cycle. So XLI is looking really good. Once again, I think the Wave 4 low holds, and we see kind of that melt up into the very bullish November that we're gonna seasonally see. So I don't trade seasonality, but there are kind of some extreme months that you should be aware of. September is a very bearish month. Okay, we survived September, and then the kind of more savvy traders who have been around a while, they have a fun little slogan: you buy in October and you get yourself sober. That's because November is the most bullish month besides April. And it's really kind of playing out right now, right in front of us. The length of Wave 1, place of the Wave 4 low. Well, at the very minimum, take XLI to 113. And that's going to be a place probably where we take a little bit of caution, at least as far as industrials go. Here's Berkshire Hathaway. So we've seen every financial make a new all-time high. This is kind of an easy one. You've already seen Bank of America. You've already seen XLF. You've already seen American Express make a new all-time high. Okay, is there something wrong with Berkshire Hathaway? No. Okay, it's just kind of lagging right now. I don't think that's going to continue to last. This is a Wave 1 and a Wave 2, a huge Wave 3, and an ABC correction put in a Wave 4 low. I think we formed Wave 1 of Wave 5 and then Wave 2 of Wave 5. Now we're exploding into Waves 3, 4, and 5 of Wave 5. The very minimum Wave 5 target is the length of Wave 1 and place at the Wave 4 low. That says that, calling a major top in the stock market before Berk B reaches 310 is probably going to look really silly for a lot of people. And I think Berk B is going to 310. Let's talk about JetBlue. JetBlue is one of those, one that looks like a nice longer term opportunity. It's one of those that I think is a nice swing, and I also think it's one of those that sends the message we could see a more sustained rally in the travel sector. At the very least, we have a Wave 1 and a Wave 2 from this low, and then another Wave 1 and an ABC correction at the 61.8% retracement that really can only be labeled as another Wave 2. So the 78.6% retracement is the stop level of 12.34. A wider invalidation, maybe this is too wide, would be the beginning of Wave 1, but right now, I want to see JetBlue above 12.34, and if it does, I expect it will enter Wave 3 of a larger Wave 3. The length of Wave 1 placed at the Wave 2 low would take JetBlue all the way to 26. From a timing perspective, Wave 3 is usually stronger and faster than the length of Wave 1, so this is from late July all the way to early April. That's about 9 months. I don't think it's going to last 9 months because Wave 3 is a lot stronger and faster than the length of Wave 1, placed at the Wave 2 low, but I do think we're going to see JetBlue go on a rally all the way to 26 before a shallow Wave 4 correction and a Wave 5 higher. And, I like talking about the idea that this is one of those sectors in the longer term that may deserve special treatment. I think, there's a point in trading where you say that Boeing and JetBlue and American Airlines, they're kind of like consumer staples almost, and they're necessities. And I also think that they're nice longer term pictures as well, where this is a huge Wave 1 and an ABC correction putting in a huge Wave 2. And then these value stocks are presenting a really nice long-term opportunity. I think they're also presenting a really nice short-term opportunity. The length of Wave 1 placed at the Wave 2 low says JetBlue is going to go to 26 before a shallow Wave 4 correction and a Wave 5 higher. We talk about the idea that this whole rally is from July to April. I think we could see another kind of period where in the fourth quarter and the first quarter, the airlines kind of sneak up on us, and we can see that across the market. Let's look at KBH Homebuilder. KBH Homebuilder is one we haven't talked about, but we've talked about a lot of the sisters of KBH Homebuilder, like Lowe's and like Home Depot. They formed this exact same high on 510. Does that guarantee that another home builder in the exact same sector is going to break above that high too? No, it doesn't guarantee it, but it gives a lot of kind of confirmation. I think playing follow the leader is one of those things that traders can, it takes a little bit to learn, but playing follow the leader in the same sector is a really useful way to get in before the break above this high. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Wave 1, an ABC correction putting in a Wave 2. It looks like we're forming that left side of the base right now. We'll go get into the right side of the base. So the stop level can be 35, the invalidation level can be this low of 31, and this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 1, and the ABC correction puts in a wave 2 at the 61.8% retracement. The length of wave 1 places the wave 2 low. Says this rally is going to get replicated, and that, pretty in the first half of 2022, I'm expecting that KBH has gone all the way to 60 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. Wave 5 will be at least the length of wave 1, places the wave 4 low. I think KBH is going to swing all the way to 74. I think it's going to hit 60 in the first 2 quarters of 2022. It's looking really good. Remember, we had a lot of value stocks, a lot of the inflation plays take over in the fourth quarter and the first quarter, and a lot of people were caught off guard because they'd fallen in love with big tech. I still like big tech a lot, but one thing I would say, don't neglect, some of the growth stocks, don't neglect some of the value stocks. It's not the summer anymore. We're going to see a new quarter bring new leaders, and I think this Homebuilder right now is going to be one of them. The length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low, will take KBH to 60 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. Let's talk about some sexy stocks. I should have probably started the video with this, but Tesla, it broke out to a new all-time high today. So we've been saying clean energy bulls get to drink a glass of wine when First Solar, NextEra Energy, or Tesla break the January 25th high. Lo and behold, Tesla was first. So congratulations. Pretty cool how it did it on a Friday. But this is a wave 1 and a wave 2, a huge wave 3, and an ABC correction puts in a wave 4. So the length of wave 3 placed with the wave 4 low gives a wave 5 target of 1368. Okay, so this is kind of one of those situations where people will get confused if in the future I raise my price target. All I can prove right now is that Tesla is within a wave 5, there will be at least the length of wave 3 placed with the wave 4 low. But that's not the only possibility. There's a more bullish possibility. Remember, I always give the most conservative view first. The more bullish possibility says that this is a wave 1 and a wave 2, which is certainly a possibility. And we're going to know that's the case if Tesla goes past 1370. Until then, I can only kind of know that Tesla's within a wave 5. There will be at least the length of wave 3 placed with the wave 4 low. So this wave 5 is going to 1368. This is wave 1 of wave 5 and wave 2 of wave 5. We're going to see waves 3, 4, and 5 of wave 5 take Tesla to 1368. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,001. This wave 4 is not tradable. This is a wave 4 that I put on the chart over 3.5 months ago to get a model for what a potential wave 5 would look like. Okay, it would be a fool's errand to try to game this, and it would be a fool's demise to try to short this. But I do think Tesla's the big picture, the moral of the story, Tesla's within a wave 5. There will be at least the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low. We're going to know for a fact that that's really conservative. If Tesla goes past 1370, I think that very conservatively will hit my time target of by the end of Q1. Tesla looking great. So if I see Tesla breaks out to a new all-time high, what do? You go find the stocks that move with Tesla that form the exact same high that are getting close to breaking that same January 25th high. First Solar is one of them. We have an ABC correction from the January 25th high. I think that from this low, this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. I think this is another wave 1 and another wave 2 because it ends right around the 61.8% retracement. So on the smaller degree, the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low will take First Solar to 118. That's an extremely conservative wave 3 target, and that's on a really small degree. I mean, this is the First Solar kind of full count. And this is where you really kind of have to prepare for the idea that Tesla's going to go past 1370. Okay, because in the bigger picture, First Solar is going to explode. Okay, this is a wave 1 and an ABC wave 2. This is a wave 1 and an ABC wave 2. This, from this low, is another wave 1 and another wave 2. And yes, this is another wave 1 and another wave 2. So I know it sounds like I'm just saying 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 over and over, but that's because I am saying 1, 2, 1, 2 over and over. First Solar is about to explode. And if you just saw Tesla break the January 25th high, I mean, you have to be really excited as a First Solar bull. We got into the blood during the March massacre. And now we're seeing it's already up 35, 40%. It's going to go a lot higher. And everything that I've said about First Solar is conservative. I think eventually the longer term target is going to be up at 165, 200. If First Solar is exploding to 165, if First Solar is exploding to 200, then Tesla's not going to stop at 1368. And there's a lot of aspects of the EV sector that send this message. NextEra Energy is another one that forms the exact same high with Tesla, with First Solar on January 25th. That's because they are in the clean energy sector. This is an A, B, C correction. This is a wave 1 and a wave 2. This is another wave 1 and another wave 2. The length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low, will take NextEra Energy, NEE, to at the very minimum 92 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. Wave 5 will be at least the length of wave 1, place of the wave 4 low. It really looks like, you know, a lot of these clean energy names, they've gotten their earnings out of the way. I think they're ready to go. And if we look at NextEra Energy right now, it's a pretty easy trade. If it's above this low of 77, it put in a wave 2, and it's going to enter wave 3 of wave 3. The length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low. Says NextEra Energy going to 92 is a way too conservative of a target. We'll have a shallow wave 4 correction that conservatively retests the wave 1 high before the length of wave 1, place of the wave 4 low. Take NextEra Energy to 102. A lot of these clean energy setups are really starting to take place, and I think a lot of them, you know, the idea that they're going to hit these targets by the end of Q1 are going to end up being conservative. Let's talk about NIO right now. NIO, you know, a lot of people, they think that Tesla is the rival of NIO. No, you are rooting for Tesla if you're a NIO bull. This is an ABC correction. And this is a wave 1 and an ABC correction putting in a wave 2 low at the 78.6% retracement. If we want to be tight, we can say that this wave 2 low of about 33 shouldn't get broken. That's pretty damn close to the real invalidation level, which is 30 anyway. But then if we measure these Fibonacci retracements or these extensions, the 161.8% extension of wave 1 takes NIO all the way to 70 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher that is at least the length of wave 1, place of the wave 4 low. So we're really kind of setting up for a pretty explosive move from NIO. And usually the way it goes is that NIO will take off first, or Tesla will take off first, and then the sister trade is really profitable. I think NIO's the sister trade right now. The 161.8% extension of wave 1 is going to take NIO to 70 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. The length of wave 1 in place of the wave 4 low is going to take NIO all the way to 85. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like Tesla, I think this is all really conservatively going to happen by the end of Q1. I still think we could see 70 by the end of the year if NIO picks up the pace. A lot of these clean energy stocks, a lot of these EV names, they've been in a really tight range where they just haven't moved at all. NIO's been on the bar chart straddle and strangle screener for a little bit, and it's getting ready for a monster move. So there's no debate that NIO is going to have a huge move. If you think that move is going to be to the downside, that's fine. But NIO is going to have a huge move. I believe that move will be to the upside, and then NIO is going to go all the way to 70 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. NIO is going to go from not moving a lot to moving a bunch. From contraction is going to come expansion. I think that expansion is going to be to the upside. One last thing, I just want to show this bar chart straddle and strangle screener is extremely useful and it's extremely free. Okay, I don't pay for this. This is the long straddle, long strangle. Let's just look at it right now. I haven't looked at it today. So I'll say right now that on a Friday, be a little careful because some of the readings are going to be things with same day expiration because it's a Friday. Okay, but let's just look at this right now and kind of see, let's filter out the ones that say 99%. Let's look at the ones that don't say 99%. It says that AMC is about to have a huge move. It says that Tilray is about to have a huge move. It says that Fubu is about to have a huge move. It says that Palantir is about to have a huge move. Okay, it says Zoom is about to have a huge move too. Does that guarantee that all these moves will be to the upside? No. But this can be really useful to kind of see stocks to focus on if you really like the setup. So this is the straddle screener right now. We'll look at the strangle screener as well. And the idea that we're going to see some explosive moves in some of these stocks, you know, some of these kind of stocks that are a little more risky, so to speak, is really coming alive. Here, we finally see Qualcomm again, NIO on the screener right now, AMC Theaters, Tilray, you know, Palantir, okay? So does this guarantee that Tilray and Palantir and AMC Theaters and Qualcomm are going to have a huge move to the upside? No, but it does give a lot of evidence that these stocks are going to have a big move, period, and we can use wave theory and technical analysis to kind of work from there what direction that move is going to be. Let's just take a quick detour real quick. I want to talk about Fubu. I didn't plan about talking about Fubu, but we're about to talk about ROKU in a second. So let's look at Fubu. FUBO. It's in the streaming sector. I got asked about the streaming sector recently, and this is a pretty risky one. Okay, it's a growth stock, but I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks pretty good, and we have a lot of streaming stocks looking very, very good. So this is FUBU. I think it forms a big old wave 1 and completes an A, B, C correction where the length of wave A placed with wave B high is where wave C ended. And we formed this nice little wick at the 78.6% retracement. So it's a little wide, but if it's above that low of 14.64, then that's a wave 2 low. The length of wave 1 placed with the wave 2 low will take FUBU all the way to 73. And that would just be the minimum wave 3 target before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. If we want it to be a little tighter, we can see FUBU forming another wave 1 and another wave 2. This looks very similar to Xpeng and Palantir that we'll talk about in a second. If we form a wave 1 and a wave 2 from this low, we could see FUBU enter wave 3 of a larger degree, wave 3. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low on the larger degree will take FUBU to 73, and that is the minimum wave 3 target. That should be hit in the first half of 2022 more aggressively by the end of the summer. I think it would be a longer term swing, but it's got, a lot of upside. It's one where it's a growth stock. So, smaller positions generally are going to be a better idea, but 22 could be the tight stop. The wider invalidation level is 14. The length of wave 1 placed with the wave 2 low could take FUBU on an explosive wave 3 to 73. If it's too risky, I think that one thing it could be is evidence that, Roku and some of these other streaming stocks are going to do very well. We just saw Netflix explode, and I think we're getting the idea that the fourth quarter alpha is going to be, a little bit in the streaming sector. So here is Xpeng. We have a wave 1 and an ABC correction putting in a wave 2 low. Xpeng, very similar to NEO, is one where if you're seeing Tesla explode, you really want to find the ones that haven't exploded yet. We'll talk about IPO in a second. Xpeng is a pretty big holding of IPO, and it has a very similar pattern, but on the smaller degree, it looks like Xpeng formed a wave 1 and a wave 2 from this low. So we have a nice low to trade against for Xpeng of 33. And believe it or not, the wider invalidation level is going to stay, 22. But if we wanted to move that stop up, we could. For a new swing, then the low could be 33. And then the 161.8% extension of wave 1 gives a wave 3 target of 63 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. I think this wave 3, if we look at NEO, we look at Li Auto, we look at Tesla already breaking out to a new all-time high, I think Chinese EV is going to play catch up to Tesla, and that Xpeng is going to go to 63 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. That's going to take it to the larger degree wave 3 target, which is the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low. So Xpeng should be going to 80 on the larger degree. That really lines up with the smaller degree picture as well. If it formed a wave 1 and a wave 2 from this low, it should hold above 33 and explode to 63 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher into the 80s. So Xpeng is looking good. Here is Squarecash. Squarecash is looking good. We saw some interesting headlines out of some of these growth stocks recently. We had an ABC correction for SQ and a wave 1 and a wave 2. I believe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another wave 1, and an ABC correction put in another wave 2 at the 61.8% retracement. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low will take Squarecash all the way to 319 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. So this is another one of those growth stocks that's looking ready for a nice run into the early part of 2022, definitely in the first half of 2022. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low very conservatively will take Squarecash to about 319 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. Wave 5 will be at least the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low, and Squarecash can go all the way to 385 right now. If it holds above this low of 222, it's a really safe claim to make that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that put in a wave 1, and this is an ABC correction that put in a wave 2 at the 61.8% retracement. So it's looking really good for Squarecash. We'll talk about PayPal in a second, but Squarecash is looking nice. Pinterest and PayPal, they announced a partnership. I said in my Kathy Wood video that Pinterest was the craziest chart in kind of the growth sector. And we'll talk about why right now. So this is either a wave 1 and a wave 2 and another wave 1 and another wave 2, or this is a wave 3 and a wave 4. So guys, there are two ways to count Elliott waves on every single count. The idea is that two people could see a different count and have the exact same results. So some people will say, oh, I don't think that's another wave 1. I think that's a wave 3 and a wave 4. And it's like, well, we're still saying the exact same result. If you think that this is a wave 3, and a wave 4 low, then you have to tell me what is your wave 5 target. There's a good chance it's going to be the length of this rally placed at this low, and we're still looking for Pinterest to go to 129. We'll talk about the time target in a second, but there are multiple ways to count this. I'm saying this because we're going to talk about Bitcoin in a second. I've got a lot to say about Bitcoin. But this is a wave 3 and a wave 4, or it's another wave 1 and another wave 2. In the short term, it's inconsequential. The length of this rally placed at this low is going to be replicated. So the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low, or the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low, is going to take Pinterest all the way to 129. This is one of those where it's a little more time from 3/16 to early February. It's another 10 or 11 month rally, but 9 months pretty conservatively, 7 months a little more aggressively. The length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low, we formed this textbook bull flag, and now the length of this rally placed at this low should take Pinterest all the way to 129. I think that we're going to hold above 49 and go all the way to 129. The wider invalidation level is the 61.8% retracement, which is 40. So it's looking really good. I also don't mind that this is a really nice bull flag right here. We're going to do a video towards the end of the month about how we can use technical indicators to kind of filter our trades. But if we look at Pinterest, I think we're getting a really nice kind of reaction off the 50% retracement. So it could be another wave 1 and another wave 2, or it could be a wave 3 and a wave 4. It's inconsequential for this swing to 129, how you count it, because the length of this rally placed at this low is going to end up being the result either way, especially if we hold this low of 49 with the wider invalidation level of 40, being that level. So here is PayPal. PayPal kind of started to break down, but I think it's still looking pretty good. And it's got a pretty compelling risk-reward ratio against this low of 233, which is getting a little tight, but we're seeing Squarecash is looking pretty good. This is an ABC correction, now a wave 1, and an ABC correction putting in a wave 2, another wave 1, and an ABC correction putting in another wave 2. So if we hold above 233, then this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low will take PayPal all the way to 316. It lines up with Squarecash going a lot higher. That would be the minimum wave 3 target. We'd have a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. So I think PayPal looks really good. If it holds above 233, it's got a really compelling risk-reward ratio. It wouldn't be the end of the world if it did break below 233, but we couldn't call this another wave 1 and another wave 2, so that would trigger a stop out. But the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low should take PayPal to 316, and that's just the minimum wave 3 target. We'd expect a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. So if Squarecash is going to 385, it makes sense that they're getting everyone out of PayPal before a pretty big rally in that stock as well. We talk about the idea that ARK F and ARK hold a lot of components of PayPal and Squarecash, and I think that that's going to be a theme that we see play out, that fintech is going to be another sector that does really well, and that really growth stocks in general, Cathie Wood stocks in general, are going to do very well. Here is ROKU. We have a wave 1 and an ABC correction putting in a wave 2. We have a huge wave 3 and a wave 4 that ends at the 50% retracement. So the length of wave 3 placed at the wave 4 low will take ROKU to 707. So I talked about right here before a pretty nice explosive wave 1, and now we're putting in a wave 2 low. So if we hold above 272, then we're going to see ROKU enter wave 3 of a larger degree wave 5, and that's going to be a very explosive wave 3. Remember, in LA wave theory, wave 1 is the measuring stick. So the fact that this wave 1 was huge means that this wave 3 is going to be even bigger. And I think wave 3 going to 550 is going to be pretty conservative before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. Ultimately, waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 should take ROKU all the way to the length of wave 3, placed at the wave 4 low. ROKU going to 707 pretty aggressively by the end of Q1 is looking nice. If it took longer than that, it would definitely happen in the first half of 2022, but still the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low would give a minimum wave 3 target. The 161.8% extension of wave 1 is going to say that wave 3 from this low is going to be really high. It's going to go a lot higher than 550. ROKU could be setting up for a very explosive move. There's no guarantees in trading, but there's a lot of upside for ROKU above this low of 272. Let's talk about Palantir right now. Palantir is looking really good. Before we talk about Palantir, I want to talk about IPO. This is an ETF that holds a lot of Palantir. It's setting up really nice. It completes an ABC correction from this high and then forms a wave 1 and a wave 2. I believe it forms another wave 1 and another wave 2. We're talking about IPO because this is an ETF. It holds a lot of XPEV. It holds a bunch of Palantir and Unity software. Those are two of its largest holdings, and this is looking very nice that this is a wave 1 and an ABC correction putting in a wave 2. This is another wave 1 and another wave 2. I think that IPO is entering wave 3 of wave 3. It lines up a lot with what we see in Palantir. In the minimum wave 3 target is 76 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. Wave 5 would be at least the length of wave 1, place of the wave 4 low. So IPO should be going, into the mid 80 range. That's going to be very bullish for Palantir. I want to talk about the relative strength chart real quick. IPO is another one of those where you are right at the 61.8% retracement on the relative strength chart. So I think that this is kind of signaling right now, and we're kind of breaking out of the Ichimoku cloud in this pair trade. So this measures the relative performance of IPO in comparison to SPY. So during this entire time, the IPO stocks, the sexy stocks, were outperforming the S&P 500. We're seeing this kind of theme play out across the market where the sexier stocks are going to begin to outperform the S&P 500, very similar to how they did in 2020. And I think right now, IPO to SPY is at the 61.8% retracement. It looks like we put in a reversal, and the whole point is that I'm expecting that we're going to see IPO stocks, the IPO ETF, outperform the S&P 500. There's going to be a lot of alpha in the more sexy names. So let's get into the Palantir chart. On the larger degree, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that completed a large wave 1, and then an ABC correction to put in a large wave 2. So that's a really important invalidation level, which is about 17. So if we just stick to the larger degree count for a second, the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low gives Palantir a destination damn near 50 for a minimum wave 3 target. And we're seeing on the smaller degree that kind of play out, but Palantir going to 50 is actually a really conservative wave 3 target from this low. Just like IPO, the ETF we just looked at, Palantir forms another wave 1 and another wave 2. I think this is yet again another wave 1 and another wave 2. So this is a really explosive nest. And Palantir, in my opinion, is going to go all the way to the median of this pitchfork to complete this blue wave 3 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is going to take Palantir above this IPO high. Palantir is really setting up for an explosive move. It's another growth stock that's looking like it's going to get a lot of alpha, a lot of outperformance. And with XPEV, with Li Auto, with Unity Software, with the IPO ETF, some of the newer names, some of the sexier names are really going to outperform wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think that's going to take Palantir to a new all-time high, and that really lines up with the larger degree count where the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low. I'll take Palantir very early into 2022. Honestly, I still think possibly by the end of the year, because this whole rally, is less than 4 or 5 months. Right? This whole rally is the exact same thing. Is from October, late October to the very beginning of January. And it's really kind of to the very end of January. And that kind of is setting up right now where wave 3 will be more explosive than wave 1 in time and price. The textbook minimum wave 3 target is 52. And that would only be wave 3. We'd have a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. On the smaller degree, that message is being kind of supported that we're forming a nest, a 1, 2, 1, 2 from this low. I think this blue wave 3 is going to end at the median of this pitchfork before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. And then waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is going to take Palantir to a new all-time high. And that really lines up with the idea that IPO and a lot of these newer, sexier names are going to begin to outperform. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Man, it's almost like the Babylon Bee. I went on Twitter and people were literally saying that the bear market began. It's almost funny, right? So we have a 60% rally in less than 2 weeks where Bitcoin makes a new all-time high, and then the very first day that we pull back 5%, people ask if the bear market began, right? And this is why Bitcoin is going to 90K, because people are so fundamentally bearish Bitcoin that they're going to call a top all the way up to 6 figures, okay? Let's talk about the large degree count, because I had someone kind of point out that they disagreed with how I subdivided this large wave 1. They thought that this wave 3 didn't end right here, that it should have ended right here, okay? So I just want to quiz you guys for a second. Is there any difference at all in the outcome of Bitcoin if you say that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or if you say that this is a 1, 2, 3, 5 that completes a large wave 1. There is no difference at all, okay? That is the subdivision of this wave 1. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low gives Bitcoin a minimum wave 3 target of 90,000, okay? That's the minimum wave 3 target. From there, we'd expect a shallow wave 4 correction that will conservatively retest the wave 1 high before the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low gives a minimum wave 5 target of 125,000, okay? And in the short term, you don't even need to say that this is a wave 1 and a wave 2 to make the argument that Bitcoin is going to 90,000, okay? So I'm gonna blow your mind for a little bit. Even if you are bearish Bitcoin, you are expecting Bitcoin to go to 90,000 from an Elliott wave perspective, okay? I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of people. How could a bear expect Bitcoin to go to 90,000? That's the case, okay? Here's why. Even if you're bearish Bitcoin, you're going to either say that this is a wave 1 and a wave 2 or a wave A and a wave B if you're a Bitcoin bear. Okay, so from an Elliott wave perspective, you're still expecting that Bitcoin is going to 90,000, and that's where you're going to look to short. Okay, I don't think shorting Bitcoin at 90,000 is a good idea because I don't think this is a wave A. And I don't think this is a wave B. I think this is a wave 1 and a wave 2. But even if you were bearish Bitcoin, we have broken to a new high. So this is either a wave A or a wave B, or it's a wave 1 and a wave 2. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low, or the length of wave A placed at the wave B low will give a wave 3 or a wave C minimum target of 90,000, okay? Obviously, this is not a wave A, and that is not a wave B. This is another wave 1 and another wave 2. We're going to see Bitcoin explode past 90,000, have a shallow wave 4 correction, and then go on a wave 5 higher to 125,000, okay? So Bitcoin is very bullish, and I think that it's almost supported the idea that Bitcoin goes on a 60% rally in a couple of weeks, and then the day it pulls back 5%, you know, people are asking if the bear market has started. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not exactly euphoria. And remember, we don't trade Bitcoin by itself. We trade Bitcoin just like every other chart that we look at as a member of its sector, okay? And we have obliterated Marathon Patent Group as well as Ethereum as well as Ripple. This is a wave 1 and an ABC correction putting in a wave 2. This is another wave 1 and another wave 2. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low gives this is the minimum wave 3 target if it's the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 2 low. The textbook wave 3 target is the 161.8% extension of wave 1, which will take Marathon Patent Group to 60. From there, we'd expect a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. The length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low will take Marathon Patent Group to 80. Okay, 81. Okay, so if Marathon Patent Group is going to 81, Bitcoin most likely did not put in a super cycle major forever top at 66K. Okay, and it's just a little weird that people who said Bitcoin was never going to make a new all-time high and they swore on their mother's grave we were going below 15K, right? The day that it makes a new all-time high and pulls back, right? You're already saying it's an expanded flat. That's really interesting, okay? But anyway, Marathon Patent Group and Bitcoin, they have a lot more upside. We're going to go to 60 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. Bitcoin is almost certainly going to be going higher with it. I want to talk about some other kind of opportunities to play catch up in this sector. And with the theme, with the idea of using technical indicators like the Ichimoku cloud, like one that I really like, the bar chart trend spotter indicator that claims to use wave theory in its calculations, that we can use more objective indicators to complement our wave count. So this is SOS Limited. And it is obviously a very risky stock. It's only about $2.50, but it just flipped to bullish on the bar chart trend spotter indicator for the very first time in several months. Okay, since March, this is the very first time that we've seen SOS Limited flip to fully bullish. We're also seeing Bitcoin explode. I'm gonna turn off the trend spotter for a second because we're also seeing another interesting idea with this, that we're about to see SOS Limited break out of the Ichimoku cloud as well. Both of those things are objectively kind of, you know, supporting the idea of the wave count, which says that we can see SOS Limited have a very explosive rally. Okay, obviously this is extremely risky, but I think that one opportunity right now is to play catch up in crypto. Okay, so SOS Limited is a wave 1 and a wave 2, and then it's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In my opinion, this puts in another wave 1. We have an A, B, C correction putting in another wave 2. Okay, they want the gurus to sound ridiculous, saying the length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low, is going to conservatively take SOS limited to 16 for a minimum wave 3 target before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. But that's exactly, in my opinion, what's about to happen. Okay, it's a long-term idea. It's probably too risky, but I think it's also kind of supporting the idea that we have a lot of crypto kind of related vehicles that have a lot more upside. We're going to go through 2 more in a second, but SOS limited is just to show that the laggard crypto miners could be a really nice opportunity. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 1, an A, B, C correction wave 2. This could be a low risk trade. Just go to the trend spotter on the daily chart. And if we keep staying fully bullish, this could be explosive. The wave count says the length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low, could take SOS limited on an explosive wave 3 above 16. And yeah, that would just be the minimum wave 3 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. Anyway, I think we're getting some objective indication that that is a wave 2 low. The length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low, could take SOS limited up to 16 in 2022. Bigger time target, bigger price target, but you know, that's growth stocks. There is a much higher upside opportunity. And I'm supposed to look silly saying the length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low, is going to take SOS limited to 16, just like I look silly saying that Bitcoin was going to explode at 10,000 and Marathon Patent Group was going to explode from 27. Here's Ripple. It's another one that's gone up 600% since I've talked about it. But this is Ripple. I think it's another really nice opportunity to play catch up in crypto. We have a wave 1 and a wave 2, another wave 1 and another wave 2. So remember, my analysis on crypto is holistic. I've been saying all year that I didn't think the major crypto top was going to come until Ripple went all the way to the median of the pitchfork that was found by connecting the length of wave 1, the beginning of wave 1 with the wave 1 high and the wave 2 low. We have a gorgeous reaction on the median of the pitchfork. Then we have gorgeous reactions on the lower bound of the pitchfork. I think from this low, we form another wave 1 and another wave 2. And I think Ripple is getting ready for an explosive wave 3 of wave 3. The length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low. It's going to take Ripple all the way to 3.40, and that is a minimum, very conservative wave 3 target before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. Ripple looks very good. Litecoin is another example of playing catch up in crypto, and it's another example of how we're probably exploding out of a nest right now. We're not in a wave 5, we're within a wave 3 for most of the crypto related vehicles, especially Bitcoin. So here's Litecoin. We form a wave 1 and a wave 2, another wave 1 and another wave 2. Pitchforks don't work. Explosion to the lower bound of the pitchfork, and I think that's another wave 1 because this wave 2 pulls all the way back to the 78.6% retracement. So if Litecoin holds above 104, the length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low, that's a pretty nice trade, taking Litecoin all the way to 494 before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. I think Litecoin looks great. The length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low, will take it all the way close to 500 for a minimum wave 3 target before a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. I'm going to talk about Ethereum right now because Ethereum is a really pretty template for crypto. This is a gorgeous chart, and especially just within the cycle from this low, I think Ethereum as well as Marathon Patent Group are very clean. I think I have both of their numbers. So here's Ethereum. It forms a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 1. This is a very clear wave 1, and it's very cleanly subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. So we have an A, B, C correction that ends right around the 61.8% retracement. Okay, that's why I'm not calling this a wave 3 and a wave 4 and that we're within a wave 5. I think this is all wave 1, and that's wave 2. The length of wave 1, place of the wave 2 low, is going to take Ethereum to 4,954. That is the super conservative wave 3 target. From there, we'll have a shallow wave 4 correction and a wave 5 higher. The length of wave 1, place of the wave 4 low, will take Ethereum all the way close to 7,000. 6.7K is kind of that, you know, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from this low. So Ethereum's going to 6.7K. Bitcoin is definitely not going to be crashing during that time. And the fact that people are already asking if the bear market's begun is really supporting that idea. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 1, an ABC correction wave 2. The length of wave 1 in place of the wave 2 low says that this pullback we're getting in crypto right now could be money flowing out of Bitcoin and flowing into some of the laggards in the crypto sector.